nephews, I got a question for y'all. What is bothering you when you lay down at night? All right, the question you keep replaying, the conversation you might have wished that you handled differently, the betrayal you can't prove, or the relationship doesn't feel right, even if you can't explain why. All right, whatever it is, you don't have to carry it in silence. The men on this panel are here so you can ask your favorite uncles whatever you need to. Call into the show, nephews, write in, tap into the chat, email Uncle Johnny, and let us put some real game on whatever you're facing. You can remain anonymous. Your name, it's not the lesson. Your situation may be the exact thing another one of our nephews is afraid to admit that he's going through. But before we get started tonight, I want you to understand this. Some men destroy good relationships because they believe every emotion must be telling them the truth. Other men, well, they remain in bad situations because they've trained themselves to ignore every warning. Nephews, both men have lost control. Your feelings deserve your attention. They do not automatically deserve your obedience. Jealousy.
Yes,
it might show you where a conversation is needed. Pain may show you where your standard was violated, okay? In the absence of connection may reveal that nobody did anything wrong, but the relationship still does not belong in your future. The feeling is real. The story attached to it, nephews, might not be. So tonight, we're separating signal from the story. What do you feel? What can you prove? And what does reality require you to do next? Because emotional control, it does not mean becoming numb. It means becoming trustworthy with your own power. Welcome to Ask Your Favorite Uncles. My name is William. I'm your certified uncle tonight. I appreciate every one of you nephews joining us. Tap in with the panel, bring us your truth, and let's get to work. Teacher Bill, go ahead and introduce yourself for everybody watching tonight.
I'm Teacher Bill, positivity preaching, you good times giver. I'm going to tell you it like it is and from the heart. Never going to judge you on the things you write in. Never going to make fun of you. Going to be honest. Going to tell you the honest truth. And if you don't like it, that's just is what it is. But it's always going to be honest and from the heart.
Johnny, go ahead and introduce yourself, brother.
So I'm JohnnyDumbbell. I am a personal trainer and life coach here in beautiful Pittsburgh, PA. I give you no BS. I'm here to give you the straight talk, the straight advice, and the straightforward path to a better life. Every time I open my mouth, you guys should be listening and understanding that I am here to help you, not myself. I've already had my chance to screw things up. And speaking of screw things up, the advice that I give you here tonight has a lot more to do with the things that I did wrong than it does with things that I did right. You see, we are the uncles that the entire family has stories about. And those stories are, in fact, entertaining. But we are not proud of those stories. We're not proud of the outcomes of those stories. The thing we are proud of is the men that we became as a result of the outcome of those stories, even if we had to learn things the hard way. So please take the things that we say to heart, because what we really mean is we screwed up so you don't have to. Let's go. Listen up.
Now, all right, nephews, our phone lines are open. Call in, put your questions in the chat. Let's get it.
Look, if you don't call in and ask questions and you're still having problems, it's not our fault, man. We're doing our best for you. So, question 1 is from Danny. Danny says, I may have ruined my relationship with my girlfriend. It happens. Yeah.
Hey, Johnny, real quick. I'm sorry, we didn't get to do a sound check before the mic, before the show. Can you check and make sure your mic's working?
Is that good?
That's better.
There it is. All right.
All right.
So, as the subject line says, I may have completely ruined my relationship with my girlfriend. I am 35. And my now ex-girlfriend is 27. We had an argument. We had an argument about our past. The issue is hers, and a bit more, the issue is that hers is a bit more colorful than mine. I met her through an old friend of mine about a year ago, but I didn't try talking to her romantically until about April-ish. But come to find out, she's still in contact with her exes, and that bothers me a lot. Come to find out, she's still close to my old friend who warned her about my issues. So while we're out running errands, we ran into a few of her exes, and they smiled and hugged each other like they were still together. I stood behind her looking stupid while they flirted and caught up for like 10 minutes. When they were done, I asked her if she wanted to sleep with him that night instead of me. She looked at me like I grew a third arm and called me insecure and crazy as hell. She grabbed a blanket and pillow and slept on the couch that night. I heard her sniffling and asked if she would call me any of her exes to come comfort her. The next morning, she made breakfast aggressively and went to work. I need to know if there's anything that I can do to fix this without stressing her out and upsetting me.
Hey, I got a question for the chat. Chat, when you feel disrespected in your relationship, what's your first instinct? Let us know. Put it in the comments, please.
Meanwhile, Teacher Bill, what's going on here, man?
So what I think this comes down to, Danny, I took some notes, buddy. I took some notes for you, brother. All right. So what this comes down to is jealousy and communication. All right. You got jealous over her talking to one of her exes and stuff, or however long it was, all that. So it sounds like your own insecurities, bro, came out as accusations. So if you want to fix this, own the hurtful things that you said without adding in a but. Don't add in a but. Acknowledge her feelings and ask for a calmer talk. And then, bro, talk boundaries with her about her exes or being around exes, but only when things have calmed down. And don't do it in the middle of a fight at all. It's simply, that's what it breaks down to, brother.
Uncle Bill, do you think that he's being a little overzealous here, or do you think maybe there's something to the fact that she's doing the actions that she's doing?
So let me get this straight. You want to know if he was expressing a legitimate concern or punishing this woman for making him feel insecure. I got to tell you, Johnny, look, he probably damaged this relationship, and it's not because he felt jealous. It's not because the contact with her ex bothered him. And I also say it's not because he wanted standards around former partners, but he damaged it because he took a valid feeling and turned his interpretation of it into a fact. Okay. And then used that interpretation as a weapon. All right. Hold on. He asked, do you want to sleep with him instead of me? Now, that's not a real question.
That was a chicken shit thing to say, yes. But
you had already decided what her behavior meant, and the accusation was designed to hurt her. And then you heard her crying, and you had time to recognize the damage, and instead of correcting yourself, you asked whether she was going to call one of her exes to comfort her. That second comment matters more than the first. The first may have escaped during the heat of the moment. The second was punishment. You saw that she was hurt and chose to hit that same wound again.
Well, but let's let's focus on what happened after that, though. He heard her sniffling. She made sure he heard her sniffling. And here's the thing. I think that he probably kept this relationship going a lot longer than he probably should have. If she is talking to her exes and he doesn't like it, why the actual freak is he still in this relationship? Why is he still with this woman who is doing things that not only makes him uncomfortable, but she knows makes him uncomfortable? Now, my problem with this is he has already established that he doesn't like women who talk to their exes. He also doesn't like women who talk to their exes in a flirtatious way. And yet he witnessed her doing this. And now he's still asking us, what should he do? She violated your boundaries.
Thank you so
Why
much.
is she still in your life?
All right, Johnny, look, you may believe that hugging an ex and Danny
No,
and leaving
flirting
Danny
with an
standing
ex for
behind
10
her
minutes in
10
front of
minutes
him is
is
a problem.
obvious disrespect. And I understand that position, but let me challenge you. What fact establishes that she was flirting instead of simply just chatting with somebody she knew? And
Because she is
even if her behavior was disrespectful, what response could Danny have made that protected his standards without trying to humiliate her?
I'll tell you what it could have been. He should have looked at both of them and said, wow, clearly you guys still have a wall built between you that is pretty transparent. I'm going to go ahead and walk away and let you guys traverse that wall, and I'm not going to be involved with either one of you. The fact of the matter is, the minute that he saw anything from her to him that seemed flirtatious or that she still had some sort of attraction to him, he should have actually said to both of them, hey, look, you deserve each other. I'm out.
Now, look, some men's going to say she disrespected him first, so
She
he
did.
had every right to put her in his place. No. Another person's poor behavior.
He doesn't have to put her anywhere. He has to put her out of his life.
Your own character. If your integrity disappears the moment somebody makes you feel uncomfortable, it was never integrity. A disciplined
No, I disagree. The minute that she decided that some guy
prove that he can't be disrespected, he states what happens, he states his standards, and then he decides whether the relationship meets it.
No, the second that she showed that she was more interested in talking to one of her exes than she was in talking to him, and seemed to think that her interaction with the ex was much more important than her relationship to the current, that's when he should have walked away. That's when he could have, and honestly, for me, I wouldn't have said a word. I would have walked away. I would have never responded to anything she texted me, because she has made it very, very clear the man she prefers. And if it's not you, look, I know that's something that you might feel ashamed of. You shouldn't. This girl belongs to the streets, or at the very, very least, she belongs to the guy she's flirting with, by the way, right in front of you.
All right, let's
Teacher Bill, what do you think?
Let's put Danny back in the parking lot, gentlemen. That ex
she did. Why not?
Danny is embarrassed, angry. He believes he's excluded. What exact sentence should he say? Teacher Bill, what kind of game you got for him?
So I am not clear. Did she know ahead of time that he had a problem with her talking to exes? Have they sat down and already talked about this? That he would like her to not do that?
I don't think that's something she should ask. I don't think that's something she should ask. If you've got a current boyfriend, why on earth would you think that he'd be okay with you talking to the guys that you just banged like 3-4 weeks ago?
Well, because I'm the upgrade.
Okay, that's all fine and good, but here's the thing, Uncle Bill. I know we know that Uncle Bill is the number one alpha male among all men that exist on the planet today. But if we were to take him out of that, we've got to ask, why is she with this guy in a committed relationship, but is so excited to see her ex, give him a big hug, maybe even jump up and wrap her legs around him, from what he says, and be cool with being flirtatious and happy to see him, and almost forgetting that he's there.
Johnny, you're too focused on what this woman is doing. I'd rather keep this about.
No, I'm too focused on what this guy has put up with this woman doing. That's what I'm focused on.
Here's what you could have said. All right, you could have looked her right in the face and said, "I need to be honest. Standing behind you while you hugged and caught up with your ex for 10 minutes without even introducing me made me feel excluded and disrespected.
But we're talking about what he could have done in the moment.
But I need to understand what the relationship is now and discuss what contact with former partners looks like in our relationship." Now, this does 4 things. It identifies the behavior. It explains its impact. It refuses to invent motive and opens a conversation about standards that creates information. All right. Do you want to sleep with him? That creates injury. Now, look, a woman in a relationship, I know you guys think a woman in a relationship should never speak to an ex. All right. That is a relationship standard. Some people may choose,
I'd be out.
but it's not universal law. Some people share children with their former partners. Some people have overlapping social circles.
Dude, that's why we don't commit to single moms.
And look, some ended respectfully and maintained limited contact. Others want no former partners involved at all. The issue is not whether the internet approves. The issue is whether Danny and his girlfriend clearly discussed it, mutually agreed, and held themselves to the same rule. Danny
That
can't
is correct.
quietly carry the standard she never agreed to and then punish her when she violates the rule that existed only in his head.
Okay, but come on. Don't act like she didn't know that it's not cool to talk to your ex that you've already slept with right in front of your current boyfriend.
No.
Now, listen, we're talking about something that involves, I mean, look, we can tell these young men, and I will always tell these young men the way they should conduct themselves and the way they should, compose themselves in situations like this. But I'm also going to tell these guys that if your girl's eyes lighten up and she gets all excited when she sees her ex, especially if it's right in front of you in your company, do you have a relationship? Are you her man? That's what I'm looking at.
Teacher Bill.
And I don't think he is. Teacher Bill?
What responsibility did Danny have to discuss contact with former partners before this situation even happened?
That I agree with.
So they both should have had talks about that ahead of time if they're going to be in a relationship with one another, and especially if she's going to be have a number of exes in her life that she's friends with. She should have made that clear ahead of time, so that way if he had a problem with it, he could choose to leave then if she wasn't going to give up those friends when he told her he had a problem. So this is a talk that they should have had in the beginning. However, what's hindsight's 2020. That's in the past. They didn't do that. So we're in this situation now. So, bro, the thing that's kind of messed up is that they would sit there and talk for 10 minutes and just kind of leave you off on the side. She should have made it a conversation where she involved you in it and was like, just three of you were talking as he introduced you to her ex and stuff, but not just more or less had a side conversation with me for 10 minutes. That's
okay, but the fact
up.
is she didn't do that.
You said she talked to the dude for like 10 minutes to the ex.
Like he wasn't even there.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, so I mean, that's kind of messed up. If she would have involved you in the conversation, Danny, and been like, "Hi, this is my boyfriend, Danny. Blah 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 blah. This is so and so," and you guys talk like that, that'd have been different. But yeah, I mean, I don't like my exes to talk to their exes. They can be friends in the distance, but they don't talk. There ain't no getting together and hanging out or nothing. It just we don't need that. I don't hang out with my exes. You know what I mean? They're off doing their own thing. So I would personally never be cool with that. And that's a conversation though I've always had right at the beginning of a relationship. You know what I mean?
And Pittsburgh Pirates 14. I appreciate that you agree with me. Let these guys know. I mean, elaborate on that. I mean, what did I say that really set you up? Because I'll tell you what. My big thing is this.
All, Johnny, is that her tears were manipulation. We
Absolutely.
have no evidence that her crying was manipulation. She was assaulted by her boyfriend, removed herself from the bed, and cried on the couch. That response is consistent with somebody who's actually hurt. Now,
Uncle Bill, I'm going to disagree with you, and I'll tell you why.
Accountability, sure, yeah, but Danny never got her a clean. He never got her to really answer. He gave her an accusation, is what I'm trying to say.
As he should have.
I don't think you need to call every emotional response manipulation simply because accepting somebody's pain would require you to examine your own behavior.
I disagree, and I'll tell you why. There is no reason why she would get up from the bed, grab her pillow in a huff in a way that would wake him up after he was already kind of half asleep, and all the way to the couch, when the fact of the matter is she wanted him to hear her being upset. She wanted him to hear her on the couch. She wanted him to feel like, oh my God, I set a boundary and now I feel bad. This girl is trying to make him feel bad for setting boundaries after the start of the relationship. When what this guy should say is, hey, look, obviously there is a division in your attention between me and the guys that have been inside you before I was around. Now, there's nothing wrong with that. But at the same time, when you walk up to these guys, not only like you haven't seen them in years and you've missed them like crazy, but as if I'm not even there, I hope you do go to the couch. I hope you go there and cry. And tomorrow morning, I hope you move your shit out. Because here's the thing. If you are still this happy to see the guys that you had before me, that tells me a couple things. Number one, they were the ones that ended a relationship, and probably for good reason. And number two, you would
don't
go
know
back
that.
to them
That's not
in
a
a
fact
heartbeat.
at all, Johnny.
You would
You're
go back to
making that up.
no. Let me finish.
You don't know
You-
who ended any of her previous relationships. You do not have that information. Let's stick to the facts, sir.
I can actually judge by the body language and the way she
You
was in
don't
front
have
of him.
those facts, sir. Look, let's stick
No,
to
I
what
have
can
the
actually
actions.
help
And
him
I'll tell
going
you something
forward
else.
and
I'll tell
not
you
what
something
this
else.
woman's
The very
behavior
no.
is. I know some men watch and believe apologizing now is going to make Danny look
Talk her
weak
shit.
and give her more power. But what requires more strength? Defending words he already knows were wrong, or standing in front of her and owning them completely and accepting that she may still decide to leave? And how does
Or
a man
accepting-
apologize without surrendering the legitimate standard that still needs to be discussed, Johnny?
Or he could accept and move on from the fact that he's not the number one in her life, even though he's the hand she's holding. Because the minute she sees one of her exes, she lets go of his hand, jumps up in his arms, and I mean, let's face it, probably raises a heel or two.
So again, I ask you, how does a man apologize without surrendering the legitimate standard that still needs to be discussed?
He doesn't apologize at all. He says clearly
come
she's
on,
still hung up
John.
on her past, and in that situation, she's not ready for a commitment. She's ready for fun. She's ready for some,
No, that comes down
overnight.
to your vetting process, and he's in the wrong for not vetting her properly and moving her to relationship status without properly vetting her.
I wouldn't move her to relationship status at all. I actually wouldn't even move her past the second or third date the first time I see
Johnny,
her
it's
jump
not
into
you.
the
We're
arms of somebody
talking
she
about
slept
the
with.
nephew that rode in. And so we're not talking about you, sir. We're talking about him.
I'm talking about
How
him
can
too.
we help him going forward? What's his next move?
I don't
I'll
know.
tell
I'm
you
having
what
a hard
your
time
next move
completing a
is, Danny.
sentence, so I don't know.
Your next move is not to explain why you said it. Your next move is not to send flowers or buy gifts or create a performance big enough to force forgiveness. Your next move is accountability. All right. Ask for one conversation. Say, what I said was cruel and disrespectful. I
It
felt
wasn't.
excluded, embarrassed, and threatened. But that does not excuse accusing you of wanting to sleep with somebody when I heard you crying. I attacked you instead of correcting myself. That's how you do it. I'm sorry. And then stop. You don't need to add, you know how your past affects me. You don't need to add, if you had introduced me, none of this would happen. The moment you attach the prosecution, the apology just becomes another argument. Own your behavior completely. And I'll tell you what's going to happen after the apology, too. Hold on, let me get Teacher Bill back in here.
I just
Wait
had to
for
step away for a second.
Bill, you here with us? All
Yeah,
right.
I'm here.
So I really
Step away.
think that he owes this woman an apology.
I don't.
I do. But they need to have that talk, though. Like, dude, that was
But
rude.
I
You
mean-
just sat in front of me and did that.
Now, Bill, your camera's not on. We only got you on your mic.
Yeah, I got you. I got you, buddy. There we go. Right off. Sorry. Well, sorry, boys. Folks watching, I just needed a refresher. Sorry about that. All right.
Hey, I get it.
No, so I just think that, because they didn't have a talk before, they're in the situation now. If you would have had the talk in the beginning, this wouldn't be happening, but it's happening. So you need to apologize for just accusing her, but then have a talk, man, and be like, I'm sorry that, that was just rude. It was just rude. I mean, I don't know how to handle it, but I've never been in that
I wouldn't apologize for
situation. I'm
shit.
sorry. Bro, you know what I'm saying? I try to give advice from basic things that have happened to me in the past, but I've never been in this situation to where I would ever let a girl sit there and talk to an ex for 10 minutes in front of me, and I'm not saying nothing. Believe me, boy,
All I'm
man,
saying.
2 minutes into it, I've already said something. I'm not waiting 10 minutes. You know what I mean? So I can't comprehend why somebody would even sit there for 10 minutes and let his woman talk to her ex without butting in at some point in time. So, I mean, I don't know, but I wish I had more for you right now. I honestly do, but you're in a
All right,
situation that's completely foreign to me in a way, but.
All right, he asked how to fix this without stressing her out or upsetting himself. Now, he cannot control either outcome. The honest conversation may upset both of them. All right. Repair
Yes.
is not the absence of discomfort. It's the willingness to face discomfort without becoming dishonest or cruel. Danny can apologize. He can change his behavior. He can state his standard respectfully. And what he cannot do is make her forgive him. An apology, it creates the possibility of a repair. It doesn't create an obligation to return. If she needs space, sir, give it. If she needs
she needs space, she's done with you.
Accept it. Do not punish her again for refusing to erase the consequence.
I'm going to go ahead and say that you can skip all of those fucking steps by seeing the fact that she was way more interested in the conversation she was having with a guy that was inside her long before she knew you fucking existed. And you could have avoided that whole conversation by being like, hey, cool. I see how attracted you still are to your ex. And hey, I don't want to get involved in that. So I think what you should do is go back to what you think is good for you. And I need to go find somebody better for my path in life than you. Otherwise, all you're doing is sitting back and telling her, hey, you know what? I know you want that guy more than I do, but go ahead and guide the path of my life because it revolves around you some fucking how. That's what we're telling this guy to do up until this point. And I'm not going to tell him to do it.
It's brutal honesty, bro. It's brutal honesty from Johnny's heart right there.
Stick that in your juice box and suck it. Anyway.
Hey now.
All right, chat. I want you to think about the last time. I got a question for the chat. I want you to think about the last time you
please
said
tell me I'm wrong.
Because you felt disrespected. Did your words protect your standard?
That's not cruel. That's accurate.
Were you trying to make the other person hurt because you were hurting? And if you owed somebody an apology, can you give it without using the apology to retry the case?
Or avoid the apology altogether and say, hey, look, clearly we're not compatible. Blessings on your journey, as I'm sure a good friend of ours always says, and best of luck to you.
A couple different options you can do.
But I mean, say it politely, though.
Yeah, there you go. Be mature about it. Hey, wish you the best, but it ain't going to work out.
I'll challenge you to a pickleball game, maybe. I don't know.
There you go.
I do love pickleball. I've actually learned how to play that recently. And I got to tell you guys, if you've never played pickleball,
what is it?
You got to. It's a lot of, so it's like tennis mixed with ping pong. Imagine playing ping pong, but instead of on a table with a small paddle, you're playing it on an actual tennis court with like a wiffle ball and real paddles. Oh, it's a lot of fun. Oh, yeah, it's a lot of fun.
All right, nephews. A valid feeling does not excuse dishonorable behavior. Danny's jealousy was real. His embarrassment was real. The conversation he needed was real. But the story he attached to those feelings was still only a story. Danny, your next move as a man, it's not to prove that you had the right to be upset. You did. Your next move is to prove that being upset does not control the kind of man that you become. Own the damage, apologize without defending it, state your standard without accusing her, and then respect her decision. That's emotional control, not denying the feeling or refusing to let the feeling destroy your character, nephew.
I'm going to take that a step further. Go ahead and respect her decision, but make sure she sticks to it by staying the absolute fuck away from you. So here's the thing.
Johnny, can you watch your language? I'm live on TikTok on my
sorry.
phone. I need you to be algorithm friendly when we're live, sir.
Okay, so stay the absolute doggone away from her, because the thing of it is that she has already shown you that she is so excited to see the guy she's already been with, and probably more so than she is to be with the guy that's holding her hand and, you know, until she sees him and lets go of it. You literally stood there like a scarecrow. Now, we all love scarecrows. According to my research, they're all outstanding in their field. But I had to. But you stood there and watched her flirt with guys that she's already been with. And I guarantee you that made you wonder where you stand. Now, we can give you all the masculinity and all the machismo that we can throw, throw in your direction. and say, oh, well, you're the man she's with now. No, screw that. You're not the man she's with now, because while she is wrapping her arms and possibly legs around her ex, you're just the man standing there. Now, at this point,
Johnny, I gotta disagree with you. What kind of standard can he actually apply for his life that would prevent any of that?
He could apply the standard that says, look, number one, I do not commit to women who still talk to their exes. Number two,
I need to focus on, not the woman's behavior. Women are allowed to do whatever they want.
I don't disagree with that. And men are allowed to do whatever they want. And when they see him wrapping all four of her,
to help him out and teach him what his next move is.
I guess you're right.
That's why he wrote in, Johnny. He wants the next steps. The next move as a man, not to get beat up over what he let this woman do to him. Believe me, he's getting beat up enough at home.
Yep. Anyway, so
nephews, call in with
good
your
luck
own
to you,
questions.
man.
We'll argue over your situation.
And we will only let one person end a sentence. So we got Miguel's question 2. So I mean, I guess deal with it. So question 2, we got Miguel. Miguel says, my partner, he's 26, she's 21, messaged someone in the middle. I wish I was joking about this. In the middle of a break between sessions of fun time, for the algorithm's sake, says, this girl I've been seeing for months now has easily made her way into my life as someone I see myself being in love with. So, oh shit, lost my place. Hold on. Okay, but last night when we were having intimacy, over the period of a few hours, I went to the bathroom to urinate real quick. I will note that we were both pretty inebriated, but she more than me. I came out from the bathroom and noticed that she was texting someone. I had seen the messages while I was approaching the bed, and she messaged someone saying, I want to see your pretty face before one more time before me and this guy make it official. Yeah. My first reaction was heartbreak, but then I confronted her about it, and she deleted the messages when I went to go get a towel and proceeded to tell me it never happened. At this point, I realized she was a lot more intoxicated than I realized. Is it my place to be mad about this, even though we weren't official? We were supposed to go on a nice date this next week and make it official with each other on that date. First of all, I feel like Uncle Bill, if he's making a future date to commit to somebody that he barely knows, I mean, first of all, why set the date in the future? Secondly, after you saw that, why continue with it?
That's a great question. I wish he'd call it live for us to ask him that.
I'll let you answer it completely.
Well, I mean, honestly, Miguel, I got to tell you, nephew, you have the right to be heard. Your relationship status, it does not control whether something hurts you. Okay. But just because you're feeling pain, that doesn't prove she cheated. The two of you are not officially exclusive. According to your own question, the plan was to have another date and make the relationship official. Now, that means the agreement had not been made yet. So don't accuse her of breaking an exclusivity agreement that did not exist. The absence of a label does not make her behavior meaningless. All right, that stuff she wrote, I want to see your pretty face. Now that message,
Teacher Bill,
that tells you she had an existing connection with somebody. It tells you that she understood that the relationship with you was approaching commitment. And it tells you that before making that commitment, she wanted one more interaction with this person. So
wait a minute. I'm going to go ahead and challenge that.
Your pretty face meant. We do not know whether she wanted a photograph, a video call, an in-person meeting, or something else. We do not know whether anything physical happened between them. Do not invent those answers. You have enough information without creating more.
Yeah.
Now, the strongest evidence. Now, the message that deserves a conversation. Now, what happened afterward deserves, I'd say, even more attention. She deleted the messages and then told Miguel that the messages never happened. Bro, that is not ambiguity about the label. That is an attempt to remove evidence and deny something he personally witnessed. Now, alcohol may have affected her judgment, but it did not reach backward through time.
It affected her ability to dodge the truth.
The message did not prove cheating. The deletion and denial revealed a problem with honesty.
Yeah. Right on. Yeah. Can I weigh in here, boys?
Absolutely.
Please do.
My man. So check it out. Miguel. Oh, my man. Oh, Miguel, check it out. You lucked out so much, bro. Because check it out. In a week,
right?
In a week, you'd have been kissing that chick right after she was just with Pretty Face. Hey, if she wasn't with Pretty Face, to hang out and talk and shoot the shit.
We're calling him that from now on.
Reminisce of old times, all right? All right? But you'd have been kissing that chick right after she was with Pretty Face. So you better think about that, bro, before you go make anything official. All right? Hey, maybe she wasn't. Maybe it was just like Uncle Bill said. All right? But you go ahead and assume the worst this time, bro, because you lucked out.
All right, Johnny, I think
you have a choice to make. You know that she has a dude
I heard that too.
She likes, but I think also by her message, what?
You cut out for a second.
So I think by her. Okay, sorry about that. So by her reaction, what I think happened is she is interested in you. She also wants to make it official, but she still got a little fling on the side that she wants to have a little, toss around with before she just stops talking to him.
She's got a backup.
So you got. Yeah, and she has a backup that she can go to easily, obviously. So you just got to think about that, man. But just kudos to you because you honestly lucked out, and you got to understand that you really lucked out. You would have been kissing a chick that was just with another dude within days of being with you.
And believe me, in case anything weird, trust me, you don't want to know what it is.
Johnny,
and you don't talk about
the message. It immediately disqualifies her, and I understand why. But let me challenge you. If they had not agreed to exclusivity, what exactly did she violate?
Nothing.
Well,
you're right. She didn't.
And I agree with that. But here's my thing. If you're looking for a woman who is choosing you, if you're looking for a woman who has that undeniable, and we talk about this all the time, that uncontrollable biological attraction to you, there's nobody in her phone. And look, if there is somebody in her phone, that's fine. Nothing wrong with that. But here's the deal. You don't commit to her. You can keep having fun with her, but for as long as she keeps texting Pretty Face or any other pretty faces or any other pretty phones or any other pretty booties or whatever it happens to be, for as long as you're not the only guy she cares to text, there's nothing wrong with that. But this is a girl who's recreational use only. Just like she is to the rest of the guys. And there's nothing wrong with that. Have fun with it.
Can Miguel decide that her behavior is unacceptable without
absolutely, and he should?
And what does the distinction change about the lesson that we teach the nephews?
In other words, and you're right, it's not cheating. But what it is a woman who is what it is a woman who is not. Yeah, I mean, it's really unacceptable. It's the actions of a woman who has not decided that the guy that she's texting is the one. But she also hasn't decided that OP is the one that is the one. So what she's doing, she's still texting both of them, which means she still hasn't made her decision. And you know something? If I were OP, I'd make the decision for her. We're gonna have a good time. We're gonna have fun. You want to come over? We'll do that one thing you're good for. But when we're done, hey, text anybody you want.
So why don't all women start out like that?
They kind of do.
Well, they absolutely should. But why are these guys elevating these women to relationship statuses without properly vetting them?
Because they're hot girls that are paying attention to a guy who isn't used to that kind of attention. And he gets so excited. And look, we've all been there. You've been there. I've been there. Teacher Bill, I can't speak for Teacher Bill. We've all been there at some point, one way or another, is that we are like, what did Chris Farley say? JoJo, the circus boy with a pretty new pet, right? we've got this girl who looks great. She's the kind of woman that we would like to get with, and she has made it seem to us that she's interested. Now, some of these women might be just trying to feel you out and see if you're the kind of guy she wants to get with. But a lot of these women are going to get in there and kind of create the sort of connection that maybe might benefit them a little bit more than it benefits you. Here's the thing that young men need to understand is how to tell the difference between those things. Because if you are giving, and getting nothing, why are you there? If you're getting, and giving nothing, I mean, okay, you might be on the positive end of the balance there, but at the end of the day, what's left at the end? 4 plus -4 is 0.
Gentlemen, which part of this situation carries the most weight for you? The fact that she was communicating with someone else before exclusivity, the wording of the message, her deleting it, denying it ever existed. What would she need to do in a sober conversation for him to believe accountability is possible? Teacher Bill.
There's nothing. There's nothing she's gonna do, dude. She done did it. Look, man. Hey, we say what we mean when we're drunk without even thinking about it. The truth comes out. They say when you're drunk, the truth came out, bro. She got the dude that she's still interested in, that she likes, but she wants to have a serious relationship with you. But she wants one more thing with him before she stops seeing him, and she becomes faithful. That's what it is.
Yeah, there's only one way to interpret that. Yeah.
Yeah. I want one more fling with you before I get serious with this dude, Miguel. That's it.
We have to address something a little more serious than the text message. All right, Miguel says that they were both drunk. She was considerably more intoxicated than he initially realized. Now, once he recognized that, adult fun needed to stop. I'm talking full stop. If somebody is too intoxicated to understand what's happening, communicating clearly, and making present decisions, the responsible move is not to continue. Now, Miguel may have not realized her condition immediately, but once he did, his responsibility changed. Get dressed. Make sure she's physically safe. Don't continue the argument. Don't continue with adult fun. Don't try to extract a confession. Don't make relationship decisions with somebody who may not even remember the conversation correctly in the morning. Serious conversations require two sober adults.
Not only that, but two sober adults that actually have the same goal when it comes to dating. And here's the thing. He's dating. It sounds to me like he's dating with intention, and she's dating with the intention of weeding out what she doesn't like versus what she wants. And she hasn't decided yet.
Go ahead, Johnny.
I feel like she hasn't decided yet. And the thing of it is, he got done with her. He was on the way to get her a towel to wipe off her belly. Okay. And here she is, drenched in his, DNA, texting some other guy. Okay. Now, I realize that they are not a committed couple. They are not boyfriend, girlfriend. They're certainly not husband and wife. But the thing of it is that if I haven't even dried my unborn babies off of your belly and you're already texting another dude, not only does that kind of show some sort of polyamorous nature towards, how you handle relationships at this stage in your life, but it also shows me that you haven't chosen him. You haven't chosen me. So to both him and me, you're a toy. I'll see you next weekend.
Wasn't his question, should he still go on the date? Now,
if all he wants is to hit that ass, yeah.
Now, wasn't that his question, Johnny? His
question was,
should he still go on the date?
Is it my place to be mad about this, rather, even if we aren't official? I'm not saying he shouldn't be mad, but what I am saying is that he's obviously not him to her. Move on.
Go ahead, Bill.
Can you hear me? All right. So I did take some notes.
Or keep banging or have fun.
So pause. So in my opinion, man, I would pause to make it official plan. Sober talk with her. Just, you got to ask her directly what she wants. and then set your boundaries. Kind of like we were talking about Danny before. Set your boundaries ahead of time before you make it serious. And then if the trust isn't there, it's okay to step back, bro. Don't feel like less of a man or like you did something wrong. Sometimes you may just need to step back. If your gut tells you, hey, bud, there's just something not right, go with your gut. So just, pause to make it serious talk, though, maybe for now, and then have a sober talk with her to make sure you guys really are on the same page and you want the same thing.
Yeah, I mean, I think I agree with that, but I think by the time the sober talk and the sober time comes around is to say, hey, look, obviously you haven't decided between at least me and him. There may be another or two. I mean, you don't have to say that, but I think the best thing to say is, look, I don't know that you've made up your mind as to what you want out of a relationship. So I'm going to back off and you text me when you want to. And at that point, I would get back on the dating apps. I would get back to seeing somebody new, getting to know other people, somebody who may or may not be a little bit more interested in making things, I don't want to say exclusive, but getting to somebody who, if they're not going to make you that one and only prospect, they can at least make it look or sound like it. But I mean, I think that number one, it's not so much that she has made it clear that she's not narrowed down to just one guy. It's the fact that she literally sat there with his, unborn babies on her stomach, still texting some guy that she probably did the same thing with a couple of nights before.
You
and
don't
there's nothing wrong with
You're
that.
making that up. You don't have that information. Now, look, Johnny, basically what I think you're saying is that
I'll finish my sentence later.
Backups. Go ahead, Johnny. Maybe we have a delay.
No, that's good, man. Go ahead.
All right. Gentlemen, what makes somebody ready? Okay. What does readiness for exclusivity actually look like? What's enough to say I choose you?
No,
I was asking both of you.
I thought you were doing like a thing for the audience and stuff.
I assumed it was rhetorical.
No, I usually ask the chat.
Me too. I didn't think
before I ask the chat a question, I'll say, hey, chat. No, I was talking to y'all. I want to know what readiness for exclusivity actually looks like.
You ain't talking to anybody else. There's nobody else you're texting in your phone. How you been, cutie? How you doing, pretty face? What's up with you? Thinking about you today. Just want to see how you're doing. None of that shit. Nothing. Exclusivity is just you and I, period. You know what I mean? There's none of that BS, no joking around,
I mean, and honestly, I could even say that if I really wanted to stretch it, I don't even necessarily care about that. But if you're sitting there texting a guy that you were just with 2 nights ago after I just finished up on you, I mean, look, there's nothing wrong with that. You haven't made your final decision yet, but the least you could have done was not do it in front of somebody that you just,
All right, what's wrong with that, Johnny? What if she's got a man at home and wants a guy on the side?
Then she could actually.
You're not a guy on the side.
Then that would be a time for her to communicate that. And if he's okay with that, which I'm not sure why he would be, but if he is, hey, go ahead. But the point is, she told you what it was beforehand, and you were cool with it. But she didn't do that.
And another thing, dude, all of us dudes at one point in time have all thought of some really hot chick when we were with somebody, while we were in the middle of being with somebody, some fine chick or some poster that was in our room came up under our mind or something like that. We thought about that in the middle of it. And she was obviously thinking of somebody else too, bro. Because that's pretty damn quick to be texting them. You know what I mean?
She was doing more than thinking about it.
He must have been on her mind for a minute. You know what I mean? At least right towards the end. So she was already texting him.
Again, Bill, let's try to keep this about what Miguel's next move as a man should be, and not.
I hear. So now he needs to think about that.
I mean, we were supposed to go on a nice date this next week. I mean, I would tell him, I think you should still go on that nice date with somebody else. She's clearly done something that has bothered you, something you don't like, and something that crosses your own boundaries after you've met them in person. If somebody is able to look at your face from 18 to 36 inches away and however many inches you have that were already in her, she's going to go ahead and message some guy who also had his inches in there. The fact of the matter is, this is a girl who's going to be a lot of fun. And look, if that's all you're looking for, hey, man, keep having fun with her. But the last thing you should be doing is trying to compete with the other guy that she was texting. The last thing you should do is trying to be better than the guys that are in her inbox. Because here's the thing. You just pulled out of her inbox like a sofa bed. So there's no reason for you to worry about whether or not you can get it. The question is, how many other guys can get it? Are you special? No. You just got done doing your thing with her, and she's about to text somebody else about doing her thing with him the next night. I mean, again, I'm not saying that I'm not trying to make an assumption about what she's doing, but the fact of the matter is that after the two of you have been intimate together, why in the hell is she talking to some other guy, not you? First of all, why in the hell are you even thinking about laying down with her for more than 5 or 10 minutes to catch your breath? Second of all, once you've done so, why is she catching her breath and texting a guy that she's already had and will probably have again right after you're done? This is a girl who's going to be a lot of fun. This is a girl who's good for a few weekends. But as far as the relationship, she might be great in the future. But right now, she ain't ready.
All right, nephew, I'm going to give you some real game here, something you could actually use. Now, do not make this relationship official just because you're afraid of delaying it's going to push her towards another person. If another man can take your place because you asked for one honest conversation, there was no secure place to protect. Have the sober conversation, then evaluate her and then decide. If she continues denying what you saw, leave. If she admits it but refuses accountability, leave. If the explanation reveals that she intended to keep another romantic option active while accepting exclusivity from you, leave. If she tells the truth, owns the denial, explains the situation that your standards can genuinely accept, you may choose to continue evaluating her, but do not rush directly into commitment because the confession brought temporary relief. Trust is not restored by one explanation. Watch what happens afterwards.
Yeah.
I mean, you have anything else for him?
I mean, like I said, if you're asking whether or not you should make it official, I would say today, no. Tomorrow, no. Next week, no. I would say there is no timeline for you to make it official. The timeline for you to make it official is when you realize that you are choosing her rather than settling for her. The timeline you should be choosing is not when she's circling your nipples with her index finger after she texted the other guy, by the way, and asks you questions like, what are we? You don't answer that. You don't answer that at that point. You say, I'm human, you're human. We'll see what happens tomorrow morning. But the fact of the matter is that you just saw her doing things that to you is a boundary. Now, we can sit here and debate all day long whether or not what she did was right. Personally, I don't think it's right or wrong. But I do think that it's the action of a woman who at this point in her life is feeling non-committal. And I wouldn't even say anything to her if I was you. I would say, hey, let's keep hooking up if that's what you want to do. If it's not what you're into, then move on. If you're having fun, having her over on a Friday or Saturday night and she's still texting other people, hey, that's cool. Those kind of girls you can keep in the fun zone for as long as you want. But you do not commit to somebody until she fits your program. That is called choosing. You do not audition until you fit hers. The minute you do that, dude, she's going to do whatever the hell she wants now, tomorrow, 3 years, 5 years from now, and you will have absolutely no say-so in how your relationship goes. So again, you pick rather than you audition. That's all I got.
Nephews, a missing label does not erase meaningful behavior. Miguel may not have been cheated on, but he was shown something he cannot responsibly ignore. The message was information. The deletion was information. The denial was information. His heartbreak is a signal. It's not the verdict. Miguel, your next move, it's not revenge. It's not surveillance. It's not racing to make the relationship official. Stop. Get sober, first of all, and then ask a question, a direct question, listen to the complete answer, and then decide whether her behavior, her honesty, and your standard can occupy the same relationship, sir.
Yeah.
All right, nephews, call up. Drop your questions in the chat. I think we got one more question tonight.
Let's do it. So we got question number 3. This is, let me see, we got from TJ. Now, first of all, we need to all congratulate TJ because TJ just ended his relationship.
Congratulations, sir.
My man's single. Ladies, get a hold of him. So he says, hi, everyone. Hi, Uncle Bill and Uncle Johnny. I ended my relationship today after 2 months of dating someone who actually treated me very well, and I feel ashamed. When I was with this woman, things were good. We could carry on conversation, had good fun time, algorithm, and enjoyed each other's company. So what was the problem? When we were apart, I just didn't feel a deep connection. I didn't think about her much, didn't feel a pull, didn't feel excitement about the prospect of seeing her. She showed me nothing but consistency and kindness, and that's why I stuck around, because I just genuinely hoped that things would change in my heart and my mind. But today I accepted that that was not going to happen. I'm emailing you because I've never been in such a confusing situation where I genuinely can't determine why I didn't feel a pull towards this person. And I couldn't really use some advice, or I could really use some advice. I started seeing a new therapist. I will start seeing, a new therapist in a couple of weeks. And there's so much that I want to unpack. Is this avoidance, incompatibility? I mean, what makes this dynamic even more confusing is that the woman that I dated before her was a complete opposite situation. She was very sweet as well, but she was recently divorced and would pull away. We started getting close. We would talk on the phone for hours, and I genuinely couldn't wait to see her and talk about her day. I feel like crap for being so drawn to somebody I couldn't fully have and completely emotionally uninvested towards somebody who treated me so well. It really seems to me, Teacher Bill, that he is having a hard time letting go of somebody not because she's done anything wrong, but because she hasn't created the spark, or he hasn't seen the spark between her and him happen organically. Now, I know a lot of people talk about somebody walking away because they're too cold or because they're too this or that, but it just seems to me like he's walking away from the adhesion of a bad connection. What do you think?
So right now, TJ, you're feeling shame, and that's understandable, but it's not necessarily deserved at all. Sometimes chemistry, Uncle Johnny, or emotional glue just isn't there. You know what I mean? So it's not failure. Attraction isn't something that you owe. You don't owe her attraction. But you may want to look for things in therapy, like explore patterns, pursuit of unavailable, like being unavailable, fear of calm and intimacy. That might be a problem that you may have, or attachment stuff, or you just ain't attracted to her, bud. It just isn't there. I've been in relationships before where they're super nice. They cook. They're really awesome. They treat me great. It's just for whatever reason, when we're intimate, it just doesn't click. You know what I mean? And you can't be in a relationship where it doesn't click like that, because that's an important part of a relationship. You know what I mean? You need to be able to feel close with somebody and feel like, you have a desire there for them, and it's equal to the desire they have for you, which should be a strong one. And if it's not there, it just ain't there, bud. Everybody's been there. We've all been with somebody we thought was cool in the beginning, and we really get to know them. It's like, not really enjoy being around that person. And you end up breaking it off. You may feel bad for a little bit, but you'll get over it. It'll be all right. You're going to find somebody that does click with you, man, and everything's going to be good. But this is something definitely where you handled it right. You didn't drag it on even longer, bro, and make it even harder or worse on everybody involved. You ended it when you did. It could have been worse. It's not. Good job.
Yeah, Uncle Bill, I think we've all kind of made that mistake at some point or other. No, you know what? I hate saying mistake. We've all made that poor choice at some point or another and tried to make a relationship that really should have never started. And we try to make that last longer than it ever was meant to last. One of my biggest things here is that this young man here has been so indoctrinated by society, the way relationships are supposed to go, that he's been told, I feel like he's been taught that as long as nothing is going absolutely catastrophically wrong, why get out of the relationship? You know something, Uncle Bill? I feel like if it doesn't fulfill what he's looking for and it doesn't fit the program that he has for his life, that I feel personally like it's okay that he walks away from it.
Nephews, we spend a lot of time teaching men not to believe that paying for dates, improving themselves at the gym, or treating a woman well places her in their debt. Okay, that standard must work both ways. Just because this woman's being kind to TJ does not place his heart in her debt. Her consistency does not obligate him to manufacture attraction. Her good character does not require him to offer a future that he does not want. So I got to say, his responsibility was to stop accepting relationship level investment once he knew he couldn't return it. So shout out to him. And I got to be honest here, TJ. You did not betray this woman by ending the relationship. You
not at all.
That she was investing in something you could not honestly return. And
most of you guys get dumped for the same reason. Look, you get too far in, you get balls deep, and she's done. Okay, this is kind of the opposite of it happening. And look, it happens both ways, and somehow people only feel a certain kind of way when it goes one way. It's okay for you to feel the same way.
You know, you gave the connection 2 months. You enjoyed this woman's company. You had some good conversations. You had some adult fun. And you know, she treated you with kindness and consistency. And you remained long enough whether to see something deeper would grow. It did not. Now, continuing after accepting the truth, that would have been dishonest. You do not owe somebody a relationship because they treated you well. You owe them honesty, respect, and the dignity of not trying to use their kindness while you wait for something you already know is missing. I think he did an excellent job.
Thanks.
Yeah, I mean, I think so too. I think that he actually decided that he had a standard for his life. And look, and I understand where he's feeling the way he feels because this girl has not been bad to him. This girl has not, been manipulative. She's not, dragged him through the mud. She has not gaslit him or anything like that. At least, not as far as he told us. But she's just simply not compatible with his path in life. And like a lot of our nephews who write in, it's not that he feels like he's wrong. He's doing what he feels is right for him, but he's got to check his work. Just like we were told in 3rd and 4th grade, look, do your multiplication in your head, but check your work with the calculator. Teacher Bill, I know you know what I'm talking about.
Yep.
And he's checking his work with us, and I don't know about anybody else, but I'm here to tell him, yeah, you're doing things the right way, and I'm sorry, I'm sorry somebody's got to get hurt by it, but hey, man, it's better that you did this now than dragged it out and made it worse for both of you, really.
You were respectful and exited when you knew things weren't going to work out. Good job. That's what you got to do. You've been a man.
We always talk about why we want our nephews to write in and how these apply to other men and other situations. So I want to take just a second before we wrap this up tonight. I want to talk about what TJ actually did right. Oh, yeah. He didn't say anything like you bore me. He didn't blame her.
No, not at all.
He didn't create misconduct so he could justify leaving. He didn't keep sleeping with her while searching for somebody who wanted more. He acknowledged something difficult. She was good to him, and he still did not want the relationship enough. Now, that's a painful truth because there's no villain. Many people, they'd rather discover betrayal rather than incompatibility. Betrayal gives them somebody to blame. Incompatibility requires them to hurt a good person without pretending that person did something wrong. And TJ, he did the harder thing, bro. I'm proud of you, nephew.
Good job,
Yeah, because I
TJ.
mean, I got to tell you, I couldn't even tell you how many times somebody's been in a dating situation or situationship where it's like, oh, I got to, invent something that the other person did wrong so that I'll be justified in walking away. No. I mean, what I like about TJ is he said, look, this girl's great. I'm great, but we're not great together. And, we got to move on from there.
All right, gentlemen, let me ask you this. TJ said he gave her 2 months. How long would you have given a situation like that?
Until I feel it's right or wrong.
No,
How long is a
know
piece of
that,
string?
But that's not bad. I mean, think about it. He could have made it 6 months. You know what I mean?
Sure.
So it's just, he ended it when he ended it. Good job that you didn't make it go longer is all you can say. Because like you said, how long is a piece of string? So, good long you didn't make it go longer than a week, but you did. You let it go longer 2 months. So what? You let it go for 2 months. You ended it, though. Good thing you didn't let it go longer. You know what I mean? So the glass is half full, bro. It ain't half empty. You got this.
Yep.
Uncle Bill?
Well, let me ask you this. You know what? I don't want to beat him up too much. I think he did a great job.
No,
he's
doing a great job.
All for him, and I think more men should do exactly what TJ did in these situations respectfully, without somebody being the bad
Walk
guy.
away. Yep. Good job. Right on. This is
by the way, guys, if you're watching this and you're enjoying our podcast, you like the three of us, and we're entertaining you and having a good time with us tonight, please do us a favor. Hit that like and subscribe button. It really helps our algorithm. And hey, if you don't like what we have to say, hit the thumbs down. That helps too.
Oh,
hey, Johnny, let me ask you this. Should they remain friends?
I don't see why they can't. Really?
I mean, they could, but here's the thing. Only one of them is going to look at that friendship as a friendship. I don't know whether it's him or her, but I feel like whoever wanted the relationship more is going to look at it as an opportunity to kind of weasel their way in. And this is the hard part about being friends with the person of the opposite sex, because 9 times out of 10, it began with one person being attracted to the other in a biological and fun time kind of way. Algorithm. So there's always going to be that dissension between them when it comes to at least one or the other, if not both. That fun time tension between the two of them might only go one way, because that's that's the minimum number of ways it has to go for a friendship to simply not be conducive to the betterment of both people's lives. And as we all know, I only make friends, and I'm sure that the two of you, the two Bills that I'm here with, they only make friends with people who are going to actually benefit their lives. I have ended a lot of friendships with people, just because, look, my life isn't better with you, with that person or those people in it. And when there's a person that you have an attraction to that doesn't return that attraction, that is not a friendship. That is what we call limerence.
I'm a great friend. I'm just not very friendly. Now, I got to tell you something. I don't think TJ, I'm going to agree with you, Johnny. I don't think TJ should immediately offer friendship as some kind of consolation.
I don't think he ever should.
She may need distance. He may also use friendship.
He does too. He just doesn't know it.
The comfort of her presence without accepting the responsibility of a relationship. If friendship ever becomes possible, it should happen after both people have genuinely moved on. Right now, the respectful move is space.
Yes.
Yep.
Do not keep checking whether she is okay to relieve your own guilt. Don't ask. Don't ask to reassure. All right. Let me slow down a second. TJ, I'm really glad you wrote in. Appreciate you. I appreciate
all three of you guys.
All you nephews that write in. Thank you so much. TJ, your next move here, it's to stand behind the decision without rewriting her character. Don't create character flaws to make leaving easier. Don't tell your friends that she was boring. Don't reduce her to a nice woman you just could not love. Tell the truth, sir. She treated me well, but my investment was not growing. Continuing would have been unfair to her. and then you give her some space.
And
Take
that's
the
true.
questions you asked us into the beginning. I want you to take the questions you asked us into the work that you're beginning. All right. Do you regularly lose interest when somebody becomes available? All right. Did I feel a connection to the previous woman or consumed by trying to secure the connection? Just things like that. Have I ever wanted somebody again only after they became unavailable? I got a bunch of them for you. But
Oh,
you
man.
don't enter the process looking for a label. You look for repetition. All right. And a label, it can tell you what to call yourself. A pattern is going to tell you what to change.
Yeah.
All right, nephews, I think we're going to go ahead and wrap this up tonight.
Dude,
Yeah.
look, we got great
It's
questions
all
tonight.
right.
I'm glad to see you guys in here tonight. I want to send a special shout out to Forrest, Teacher Forrest, Teacher Bill. You guys both actually share a profession. I'm sure you guys would get along great if you ever met.
Right on.
Yeah, we got Pete. What do we got? Pete Drayton. Hey, thanks for checking in with us. I'm glad to have you with us. Mini Mom, listen, you've always been my ride or die. Love you. I'm glad you're here with us as well. Yeah. I'll tell you what, there's a lot of amazing things I could say about Mini Mom because let me tell you what, this is the kind of person that would be by your side when you need her, and even sometimes when you don't really know that you need her. And she's a great friend, she's a great companion, and yeah, highly recommend. Love you. Thank you.
All right,
Right on.
nephews, before we leave tonight, I want to challenge you. The next time a strong feeling takes control, don't immediately defend it. Examine it by asking yourself, what am I feeling? What actually happened? And what story did I attach to it? Danny taught us that a valid feeling, it doesn't excuse dishonorable behavior. You could feel embarrassed, jealous, and disrespected and still be wrong for trying to make somebody else hurt because you were hurting. All right. Miguel taught us that missing label, it doesn't erase meaningful behavior. You don't need to call something cheating to recognize the dishonesty. The deletion, the denial, that should stop commitment before it even begins, nephews. And TJ, well, he taught us that kindness does not create romantic debt. A good person can still be the wrong partner. You owe them honesty, not manufactured love. Emotional control, it does not mean becoming numb. It means refusing to let jealousy write facts, refusing to let heartbreak make decisions without evidence, and refusing to let guilt trap you in a relationship your heart's already left. I want to thank JohnnyDumbbell and Teacher Bill for bringing their experience, challenging the framework, and helping us examine every situation from more than one direction. And to everybody that wrote in, everybody that got in the chat and contributed, that shared part of their life with us, I want to thank you. And every one of my nephews watching quietly because tonight hit somewhere personal, I appreciate you. You're the reason we do this. Take what you learned tonight and use it before your next reaction becomes your next regret. Separate the signal from the story. Apply your standard. Make the decision that reality requires. And we'll be back next week with more questions, more answers, more game, and more leveled up nephews. Until then, govern yourself, keep your integrity, go forth and conquer and become the greatest man your bloodline has ever seen. Teacher Bill, you got anything you want to say before we wrap this up tonight?
Go. Another set of gentlemen writing in instead of just trying to handle things on their own. So way to go, man. Kudos to all three of you gentlemen. If you're watching this, send some questions in, man. Call in when we're on here. You got the number, you got the address. So send those letters, emails, get a hold of us. We'll help you out as much as we can. Way to go, gentlemen.
All right. We'll be back next week, gentlemen. God bless the real. We appreciate